Hey guys, this is Nathan from Bagel Pop, and I just want to give you fair warning. We're going to spoil pretty much everything. So yeah, you've been warned. Alright, so we just finished watching Parasyte, the Maxim, episode 11. And as I was just saying to you, I don't know if this is a good episode or if I've just been watching bad anime recently. It's like just... It was like a pretty good episode, I guess.
There are
It's
good
definitely...
moments.
Yeah, it was definitely better than the last couple weeks of anime of us watching Parasite and just being really frustrated with some of the characters and watching some really shitty episodes of Terra from Mars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, starts off interestingly enough. Another poor, helpless female gets drunk and then gets eaten in a park.
We got
It's like,
confirmation that the hair trick works.
hair trick does work, yeah. Super creepy, yeah.
Fat lot of good that did her too.
First of all, do that at the beginning of the date, you dumb hoe. Like, why would you? I think I might have sex with this person. You're totally my type. Now I'm gonna check when I'm in a secluded place. I was like, alright, at least they're
nobody
eating off
around.
the dumb part of the population. They're thinning the herd a little bit. Is the way that I see it. And I think the parasite that he runs into is Tamaya, if I'm not mistaken. I'm guessing so. Otherwise, then why else show those two? In
Oh, the
very
second
beginning?
one? Yeah,
Yeah, I think the girl is
maybe.
Tamaya. And apparently they have a preference that they don't like taking them drunk. It's like, gross. I don't like dark meat, apparently. There's some shit along that. I guess it's like that.
It's
And
like
then,
eating meat with hormones.
And then we get introduced back to Kana, who you find not too compelling. I don't mind Kana as much. I think Kana is one of the more interesting, less
I don't
retarded
mind
female
her.
characters in the show.
Yeah, I don't mind her. It seems like she doesn't have a lot to do yet. I guess, like you said though, this anime is actually kind of long running, so maybe just haven't got to her yet.
Yeah, like I
But
find
she
her.
hasn't done anything really.
Yeah, but I still find her infinitely more compelling than whoever the main love interest is. I don't know,
I forget.
like back
Purple
hair,
hair.
back hair girl. Yeah, weird hair girl.
And way
Which-
better than Glasses Girl.
Oh god, I wish she had fallen on her neck. Like,
That's why I was
you-
mad. Like, usually I nitpick. I'm like, I wish the tree had not broken your fall.
Yes, I wish you had been horribly killed. But we get intro to Kana in her dream in a super ridiculous like sexual fantasy of like Izumi riding in like essentially
Mickey
naked
horse.
on a Mickey horse and then rescuing her from all these parasites, and then both of them naked with Miggy like super not Miggy but Izumi just like super muscular.
Yeah.
Yeah, super muscular,
Just like holding her.
holding
Like,
her naked and like looking all cool and stuff, and then she just wakes up. It's like, ugh, why am I doing this to myself? So she has a major crush on our main character. Apparently, just all the girls in this universe have a major crush on Azumi. I don't know why. Still, he's just like
He's got the Spider-Man
he's such a
body.
weird dude now, though. He's so
I know,
erratic.
he's so unstable at this point.
But I guess I don't know. Maybe girls are. It's like, oh, he's so mysterious. I guess.
And
Yeah.
he could go flying off the handle at any time.
Yeah, I like that passion in a man. But yeah, so she's like, oh hey, it's like I really kind of, like you. And then apparently we find out that Izumi still didn't know her name, but like he guessed
Yeah,
it.
your name's Kana, right?
Like,
It's like,
"All
yeah.
right." I'm like, I've known you for like, you kind of randomly followed me around for like, I'm guessing at least like 3-4 months now.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, but I just learned your name, and apparently it's just like oh yeah, and then Miggy's just like, we shouldn't probably talk to this girl because you're gonna give us away, and then while he's having that conversation, he's like, it was like that instinct that you follow to like kind of track me down. You probably shouldn't follow that because you might run into a monster. And I was like, the fuck is your issue, bro? And then she was
Like,
like,
grabs her shoulders and shoves
Yeah.
her against the wall. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you're good job at being discreet. Jesus.
yeah, and then she's like, take me now. And then he's like, anyway, I got like something to do. I gotta run. And then like childhood friend is there, and then Kana and childhood friend like have a discussion about like, so how do you feel about Izumi? Like,
Has he changed?
has he
since you
changed in
met
your
him?
eyes? And he's like, I don't know. I always kind of liked him the way that he is. I don't know. It was a really dumb conversation. Whatever. Yeah, we move on to two new parasites that we haven't seen. A super buff Smiley Man who apparently like took over the body of like a high school PE teacher or some shit. And then he was like, "You look fucking ridiculous." Like the other parasite gives him shit. I was like,
Yeah, like
"Really? You look
you're
like a fucking
fucking
moron."
gigantic.
Yeah, it was like, "You're gonna be a little bit more discreet." And it was like, "Eh, these
Yeah, he
clothes are
had
gonna get
like
dirty
training
anyway."
shoes, high socks, short shorts, and a white beater.
Yeah,
That's
he
all he wore.
essentially looked like an Olympic sprinter from like the 1940s, essentially.
Yeah,
Like pretty much. And then
yeah,
he was like, "Yeah, they're gonna get dirty anyway." It's like very, very dude thing to say. Very much a
yeah.
dude parasite. And he goes up to apparently a Yakuza office that
Open 9 to 5, closed on weekends.
yeah, apparently Yakuzas have offices, and then he like fucks around with like the dude up front, and he was just like, "Hey, how many people are inside?" He was like, "You shouldn't be here." He was like, "What are you gonna do? Like cause me harm?" It's like, "Well, because of laws, Yakuzas can't publicly harm any people in public." It's like, what? This is really intriguing. Actually, I have so many questions about like, why do the Yakuza have offices? Like, why are there now laws that they can't do it? I don't know. There were so many questions, but unfortunately, PE teacher just smashes his head in, and then
Into the wall. And it's like,
yeah,
pa.
just
What
like
movie? It's like someone else did that in the movie. I remember.
I
Just
don't
like
know, just like
really quick.
smushed it. It's I don't know. It's I don't. It's fairly more common in anime, but essentially it's like he smushed his head into the wall like a pea, and just like smushed it everywhere. But but yeah, and then he proceeds upstairs, and then you can see that he systematically just kills everybody in his path. I think and then he counts every single time that he's wounded, and
He karate chops people in half, doesn't he?
he
Remember?
does. He karate chopped the dude in half. He did a lot of things. He like jumped around. He punched through people. He like ripped off. I think that was my favorite thing in this episode. Is he like went over and he took a dude's like head, and then he just like ripped it off, and then it was like floating at the top of the screen. Everybody was like looking like,
Yeah.
"Oh no!"
And he
And
proceeds
then
to
he
like
just like
chop
sliced
everyone to death.
everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yes, some like good action." I haven't
Yeah.
seen good action in an anime in so long. And he like, I think he gets shot twice, I think, and he gets hit by two swords. No, he gets hit by two swords, and then he gets
Shot
shot
once in the
once.
leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shot once in the leg. Then he counts each one, and he's just like, three times with like 8 armed guys. It's like, why are you doing this? Like, you're a monster. And he was just like, oh, I just wanted an experiment to see like how we would go up against like large groups of people armed. Which apparently, like Japan is not a very good place because, hey Austin, this is your time to platform on why people should have guns and gun regulations are bad because in case of an alien, invasion,
I don't
secret
know.
invasion, we're gonna need as much guns as possible apparently because well even if they all had guns in that situation, I don't know how well they would have done against that
I still
guy.
think they would have got killed anyways in
Because
that
like you can
situation.
see, like apparently, unlike these other ones, like essentially, they had to where you pointed out the old parasites, like they would only fight through their head
And the bodies were vulnerable.
and the bodies were. This guy, he got like hit in the arm, and he was able to like catch the blade, break the blade, and then turn the blade around and shoot it at that dude's head. It went right through his leg, but it didn't seem like the leg had any protection.
It didn't
just
bleed even.
did it? I don't know. It just went right through.
Yeah, I think it's just a hole. It
Yeah,
never
it was just a
bled.
hole. I don't know if it was like protected or anything. And then he gets hit. He gets hit directly right through the noggin with the sword, and it doesn't seem to affect him either. His face just kind of like split around it, and like his eyeballs went back across his head. It's like I get hit 3 times. So interesting. He had the super speed and the super strength that Miggy Man has. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like how did he get that? I guess we can theorize that maybe since Miggy was able to go into his heart and then kind of use microscopic Miggies to kind of strengthen the whole entire body. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the more evolved smart parasites are doing that as well. And
Yeah,
then
trying to take over the host completely.
yeah, and then we see that that gym PE teacher guy like just runs out, and then a
You
people
call him
punch.
Jim?
Well, no, gym teacher.
Oh, gym teacher. I thought
I
this
just
was
call
just
him
Jim,
Jim.
the PE teacher.
No, gym teacher. I don't know. We can just call him Jim. So Jim runs out, he runs away, and then he gets like another identity, and then he gets back into the car that he came in, and then we see that he meets up
He
with like another guy, and apparently there's like a whole bunch of parasites working in cahoots with each other, and they're just
yeah
kind of like doing experiments and stuff. And we later see that the guy that he's working for is going to be running for mayor. So that should be
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And and then there's some boring stuff with relationships.
They go on a date.
Go on a
Izumi
date.
and
I don't know. I just
childhood
totally
friend.
zoned out when they're so boring. They have
There was this
these.
weird moment, like with the kids being a dickhead, and the mom's like about to hit him, but she restrains herself, and then it freaks Izumi out really bad.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
like,
there's a hole. There's a hole
it
in my heart,
caused-
which has been
so any
misread.
reminder of his mom caused him physical pain. It's
Well, is
like,
it? I think it's. Is it physical? Usually, it seems to be like anytime he has some type of like emotional memory, like a very like
it's like debilitating to him though. He
yeah.
can't move.
Yeah. So it's weird. It's anytime
I
that
don't know what they're trying to say
he
with that.
needs like anytime he should be feeling some type of strong emotional response, it like really hurts him in the chest, which is both maybe I don't know like physical or kind of metaphorical that like he has no heart anymore, or that he
Hmm.
still does have some heart there, and that like he doesn't really now it's like hyper I don't know hyper strong or something when it occurs or something. I don't know what's going on, man. But it's been the last couple episodes that haven't been revealed yet. But apparently it went on a good date because he ends up kissing his childhood friend at the end, and then Kana sees this, like because Kana can use her vagina sense, tingling and senses him apparently.
Nearby.
Yeah, and then he runs up. And it's like, oh no, oh no, and then she totally like catches them kissing. And then she like runs away, and then she comes up with like a final plot to like steal his heart or some shit.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
like that whole thing. Just like, by the way, while you're all kissing each other and having this little love triangle, people are getting horribly murdered. So
well, it's not directly connected to her. I mean, it's just like if people get murdered in L.A. all the time. You know, we live in L.A. People get murdered all the time. It's not like, oh my god, some person got murdered. You know, like some guy got shot on Hollywood and Highland.
I
Let's
just
go
find it
to
hard to get invested in their relationship problems when there's a much bigger overarching problem in the story.
Well, I mean, you could argue the same. I don't want to get political about it, but it's you're just saying on this story level, and I'm
Yeah,
explaining
on the
it
story
from
level.
I'm explaining it from their point of view of obviously like why would they give a shit if like 22 random Yakuza died, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's too meta a viewpoint, really.
Yeah, like you're just like, how did you do this? Like, there's a maniac. You're just like, she didn't see any of this shit. She just
Yeah,
knows
she
like it's
doesn't.
just a
Yeah,
statistic. It's like we just see the news and it's like, oh, some random person got Ebola. I'm pretty sure when Ebola broke out, I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm never gonna date anyone again. Like, no one said that, you know.
I was
So
thinking about it.
yeah,
I
but
don't want to touch people
I
anymore.
just don't want to touch. I guess so. I was just like, oh no, I really wanted to date a Yakuza person. Like, no, it's not gonna. I don't think it really affected. I don't think it really affected them. But yeah, so like 22 people died at that Yakuza office, and then I made the joke, and it was like, and then 2 weeks later, that Yakuza office will be open and running again.
Just like murder school.
Like, we don't know what happened, but the show must go on, guys. Like, we gotta get the offices back up. We gotta hire some new interns, some Yakuza interns, get them all tatted up. It's gonna be
Just
rough.
hire
But
like 20 janitors and it's all fine.
yeah, we just gotta keep on going on, I guess. But yeah, Kana invites him out to her hood apparently, and then coincidentally, we find that Miggy detects that there's like 8 of them, and apparently it's the people campaigning for mayor. Like all of them are parasites, and then I don't know if this is intentional or unintentional. The mayor guy like can sense Miggy, and then points him out in the crowd, which beforehand like was hard because usually if you're in a crowd of people, it's harder for them to point him out. But like he fucking like zeroed in on Izumi and Miggy like right away, so I thought was a little bit interesting. I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but yeah, these people, these parasites are definitely a lot more high end, more developed, and a lot smarter about the way that they're going about things now. So it should be interesting. Less romance, more alien intrigue, I guess, is the cry
They
going
don't need to be
forward.
less, but they should keep it like how like this was like it wasn't too much. They don't need to dial it back, but they shouldn't put too much more into it and let it dominate an episode or two. I
I
wouldn't
think
like that.
I think also it's I think even you got frustrated because it's just the same notes over and over again. It's just like, are you the same guy?
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah, I'm the same guy. And it's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And then like at least they fucking kissed. This
yeah,
week.
that's
Like, at least
something.
something fucking happened. Like, we're still at like square. Like, what was the second episode? Was when they went on that date where he, like protected the
Yeah,
cat, and
now it's
she
episode
like
11 or something.
yeah, and now it's like episode 11, and then it's like, we're fucking still at, like, progress the fucking story, or don't, because right now you've just been on a series of really, really boring dates. We've just been watching you go on really boring dates, and, like,
Mhm.
neither of your characters are that all compelling. That's why I kind of like Kana more, because at least Kana is just like, I was like, I want to mess my fucking man, and I'm gonna, like, do what
She
I
doesn't
gotta
say, "Are
do.
you really whoever Izumi?"
Yeah,
And it's
she
just
was
like,
like, I
I'm
don't
so tired
fucking
of that.
yeah, like Kana's like, I don't even fucking care what kind of guy you are. I was like, I just want you inside me. Like, she's
Vagina sense
all
doesn't lie.
yeah. She's all about that life. So I don't know. I'm on Team Kana. I guess that's
I
what.
am too. I like her better than
Yeah,
childhood friend.
I find her a more compelling character. But this is Japanese anime, so I don't wanna be all formula about it. But it's always like it's like first girl is best girl is kind of like a rule in anime. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's kind of like the first love interest that you see almost always is like 99% of the time is the character is the girl that the guy will end up with. So it's almost always I like Kana and him might have like a little bit of trust. The only thing that like I wish would be better, like it's fine as like a sci-fi and monster anime right now. It's just that like Azumi isn't that compelling of a character ever since he went through kind of like that character
He's
change.
really inconsistent now, which is
Yeah,
weird.
he's just like kind of like weird, paranoid, and twitchy. As before, like he went through the heart thing, he might have been whiny a little bit, but at least he was like human and relatable. Now he's just like fucking like just all over the place, and then just cold and
Yeah.
boring, and really bland. Up
Yeah,
until the
he's
point
either
where it's
like
just like,
cold and emotionless, and then he'll go like suddenly you say something and he freaks the fuck out. It's like,
yeah,
dude.
like be consistent, like take a chill pill, or I don't know. If you're gonna be like that, then be like cool and calculated, not like I'm emotionless but a dick. Like it's such a weird like. There's a difference between being like stoic and like having resolve, as opposed to just like being a bland slate.
Yeah.
He like still worries about a lot of shit, but then
Yeah.
he's just like a blank slate on his face. So I
Hmm.
don't know. But a better episode. Really hopeful. I mean, I think this is like a 24 episode series, and finally we're out of a little bit of a rut, and it's a really intriguing storyline with these parasites. So I'm looking forward to next week. It's definitely an upturn. All right, see you later, guys.